Let's continue talking about the future. And here we're going to use some verbs in the brackets and we're going to put them in the correct tense. We can use the present simple or the present perfect or well or the future continuous. So let's start with this is your captain speaking. So we're going to have this script here. Okay, you can check it, you can take a look at it, and then you're going to listen, and this will help you in putting the verbs in the right form. So let's listen to it together. And after that, we're going to put the verbs in the correct form. Take a look at the script. Pause the video. After you finish reading, you can continue by listening.
Tape script 5.5. This is your captain speaking.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard this Virgin Atlantic flight to Boston. In a short time, we'll be taking off. When we've reached our cruising speed of 575 miles per hour, we'll be flying at 37,000 feet. Our flight time today is 6.5 hours. We'll be coming in over Newfoundland before heading down the coast to Boston. We arrive in Boston at about 17:45 U.S. time. The cabin crew will be serving an evening meal during the flight. If you need any assistance, just press the call button and a flight attendant will come to help you. In case of turbulence, will you please keep your seatbelt fastened when you're in your seat? In a few moments' time, the cabin crew will be coming around with duty-free shopping. They will also be giving out landing cards for those who need them. In 20 minutes, we will be starting our descent into Boston Logan Airport, where the temperature is a chilly 3 degrees centigrade. And for the Americans on board, that's 37 degrees Fahrenheit. With a chance of snow. Please put your seats in the upright position and remain seated until the plane has come to a complete standstill. We hope you will fly again soon with Virgin Atlantic.
All right, let's answer the first one. It will be taking off. Yes, very nice. Okay. Now let's go to number 2 here. We've reached. Very good. We have reached. We've reached. Yes. And number 3, we will be flying. Will be flying. All right. Number 4, it's going to be, do you remember? Will be coming. And number 5, we arrive. Yes, present simple. And number 6, it's going to be we will be serving, or the crew will be serving. Number 7, if you need any assistance, very good. Like if you need any help, just press the call button and a flight attendant will come to help you. Excellent. In case of turbulence, if you remember the meaning of the word turbulence, so number 9 is going to be will you please keep your seatbelt fastened? Will you please keep your seatbelt fastened when you are when you're in your seat? Now the next part, in a few moments time, the cabin crew will be coming ground. Very good, future continuous. They will also be given out. landing cards for those who, do you remember this one? Yes. For those who need them. In 20 minutes, we will be starting. And then we go to number 14, which is going to be until the plane 14 has come. Present perfect. And the last one we have, we hope you will fly again soon with the Virgin Atlantic. Excellent job. Well, that was quite a training on futures, right? Now let's go to the next exercise. Take a look to take notes of these answers, and then let's move on to the next one. Okay, now we have here this exercise and we need to complete it with the most natural, forms of the future to you. So let's try them together. There is more than one possibility, so let's try it together. So number one, where you go on holiday. So what should we say here? So we can say, where are you going on holiday this year? Or where will you be going on holiday this year? But if you said, where are you going to go on holiday? It's grammatically correct, but it is not really natural. So you can just like use here, where are you going on holiday? Or where will you be going on holiday? Number two, how? How are you getting there? Very good. Or how will you get there? Or how are you going to get there? Number three, we can say, how long will you be away for? How long will you be away for? Or how long are you going to be away for? And number four, which hotel are you staying in? Which hotel are you staying in? Or which hotel are you going to stay in? Or which hotel will you be staying in? Excellent. Number five, what time does your flight arrive? What time does your flight arrive? Or what time will your flight arrive? Or what time is your flight going to arrive? Or what time will your flight be arriving? You can also use this one here. And the last one here, what are you going to do while you're on holiday? What are you going to do? Or what will you do while you are on holiday? Okay, so you can use going to, or you can use the future sample. But we're not going to use the present continuous here because here we're just asking about intentions more than just a certain fixed arrangement. Now let's go to exercise number 4. We're going to listen to the questions and complete the different responses. So we have here these 3. Now let's listen to them.
Tape script 5.6. 1.
Do you think you'll ever get a job?
I hope so.
I might, one day.
It's possible, but I doubt it.
I'm sure I will.
I'm sure I won't.
2.
Are you going out tonight?
Yes, I am. I think so, but I'm not sure.
I might be.
3.
Do you think the world's climate will change dramatically in the next 50 years?
I don't think so.
I hope not.
Who knows? Maybe.
All right, so let's answer them together. Let's read them one by one, okay? So number 1, do you think you'll ever get a job? We can say, I hope so. Or let's write it together. I can say, I hope so. Or I might one day. It's possible, but I doubt it. Very good. B is silent. I am sure I will. Or I'm sure I won't. Very pessimistic. Now let's go to number 2. Are you going out tonight? Yes, I am. I think so, but I'm not sure. Or I might be. Number 3, do you think the world's climate will change dramatically in the next 50 years? I don't think so. Or I can say, I hope not. I hope not. Or who knows, maybe. Yes, that was easy, right? Now let's move to the next exercise. Make sure you take your notes, listen to the audios one more time, and try to read aloud the script with them. All right, so I hope you've finished reading. Now let's listen and check. And tell me if you got surprised about any of the figures. And is there a word for neat in your language? And do you know the figure for neats in your country? So let's listen to it together.
Tape script 5.7. A neat solution.
The term neat is used to refer to people who are not in employment, education or training. In the UK, NEETs are usually defined as being in the 16 to 24 age group. The UK figure is estimated to be 1,163,000, which is 15.1% of this group. In the EU, for 15 to 29-year-olds, the rate is on average 15.4%. although there are huge differences across countries. These range from 5.5% in the Netherlands to about 25% in Bulgaria. The estimated annual cost to the EU per year is about 120 billion euros. Figures for other developed economies reveal similar challenges. In the USA, the 2010 NEET figure stood at 15.6%. In New Zealand, 13.1%, and Japan, 9.7%. And a university degree is no longer a guarantee to a job. In the UK, in 2011, a quarter of graduates aged 21 were unable to find work after leaving university.
I don't know if that seems a bit pessimistic, but let's check the answers together. Okay. All right. So we got here 15.1, 15.4, yes. The Netherlands, Bulgaria, 120 billion euros, Japan, and a quarter of graduates. That's very good. Now let's check the next exercise. So we're going to listen to 3 young people talking about being a NEET, and we're going to take notes under these headings like past experience and the problems of the turning point, immediate plans and hopes for the future. And we're going to discuss what we got with each other. Now let's listen.
Tape script 5.8. Daryl.
Well, to be honest, I've never had a job. I left school at 16 because sitting at a desk just wasn't my kind of thing. I couldn't wait to get out there and start work. Only problem was I didn't have any qualifications and there weren't any jobs. Can't believe how stupid I was, really. I just messed around for a couple of years. But the one thing that did interest me was cars. I used to hang around down the local garage and the owner showed me some basic mechanics. I took to it straight away, but he couldn't give me a job because I didn't have maths and English. It was the same everywhere I went. No qualifications, no job or training. Then I got given a personal advisor on this new NEETs programme. This guy, Martin, helped me take things one step at a time. Before starting back into education, we looked at why it went wrong in the first place. I started to take a bit of responsibility for myself and get the help I needed. So here I am 2 years later with the qualifications I never got at school and an apprenticeship in a car factory. I've never wanted anything so much in my life. There were only 12 places and hundreds of young guys and girls applied. It's been tough, but I know how lucky I am to get a second chance. It's going to be great. I'll be learning in a really practical way to get a good grounding in the industry. I am not going to mess it up this time. Then, what I'd really like to do is carry on my training in Germany. They do a lot with apprenticeships over there, and they make the best cars in the world, of course.
Cara.
No one ever thinks of Canada as an unemployment black spot, but things are pretty tough here right now. I've been out of university for almost 2 years, and I've lost count of the number of applications I've filled in. Half the time, you don't even get a reply. And I stopped looking for things in my subject area, journalism and economics, a long time ago. Sure, I've had part-time jobs, waitressing, hotel reception work, the usual thing, but it's such a waste of my skills. Sometimes I just feel like I'm going around in circles. I don't have the relevant experience, so I can't get a job. But without getting my foot in the door, how do I get the experience I need? The closest I got to my dream was an internship for a local newspaper. I was happy to take the tiny salary they offered and was all set to start when, can you believe it, they found someone who was willing to work for nothing. So, all those exams and 3 years at university to be an unpaid slave. I found that so offensive. Then I started to think a bit more creatively about how I could spend the next year. If Canada couldn't offer me anything, where could? I looked into volunteering programs outside Canada. I figured I might as well be out there taking a risk and doing something worthwhile. So, I'm going to Malawi next month to work on a literacy program, mainly with children. It'll be hard being a long way from home and in a strange place, but I'm going to try and do some reporting on the situation there. Who knows? It might just prove to a newspaper editor that I'm the journalist for the job.
Lucas.
When I told my friends that I was going to leave Athens to do a course in farming, they couldn't quite believe it. You see, I'd spent a lot of time, and my parents' money, getting a business degree and trying to improve my English. Anyway, after leaving university, I had no proper full-time job, just part-time contracts, and so I got nearly nothing in unemployment benefit. And after a year, the benefit stopped, so that was when I knew I had to make a decision. I thought about a master's, but unemployment has doubled among postgraduates in Greece. So what would be the point of more academic qualifications? The other option was to go abroad. But half of Europe is in the same situation, and I don't want to leave my family because of the financial crisis. So, it's going to be farming for me. You could say that it's in the blood, because my grandfather was a farmer, and I'll be taking on a farm on land that the family still owns. But first, I'm doing a course at the American Farm School in Thessaloniki. This is a growing trend, apparently. Applications are up by more than 100%. In the long term, I want to produce the best that Greece has to offer. Excellent lamb, cheese and honey. And maybe look into ecotourism with farm stays, things like that. You see, I'll need my business head to make it all work. It feels strange to say I'm going to be a farmer, and my mother is a bit disappointed. She put up with a lot to make sure I had a good education, but I'm trying to see it as an opportunity, and I want to make it a success so that I can pay my parents back for their support.
That was quite a long audio. If you have any challenges with it, you can divide it into 3 parts. You can listen to each person alone and then try to take notes after each one of them. So let's start with the first person we're going to discuss together. I'll share with you some of my notes and you can compare them with your notes. So the first person we had, who is Daryl, okay, and talking about his past experience and problems, that he never had a job, he left school at 16, and he wanted to work, but he had no qualifications, and so he got no jobs. And he messed around for about 2 years, and then he tried to learn the basics of mechanics at local garage, and but he didn't have the job because he didn't learn math or English. So he tried different places, but no point because he didn't get any kind of training or qualifications. The turning point was when he met his personal advisor on a NEET program, and he helped him take things one step at a time, and Daryl started to take responsibility for himself to get help. And now he's got qualifications and apprenticeship in car factory. And his immediate plans and hopes for the future is that he will be learning in this apprenticeship in a practical way to get grounding in the industry, and he's not gonna mess it up this time. And he hopes to carry on his training in Germany. Now let's move to Kara. Kara's past experience is that she left university 2 years ago. She filled in countless applications, but often she doesn't get any reply. And so she stopped looking for work in journalism and economics. And she had lots of part-time jobs, and she couldn't get a job without any experience. So she got an internship for local newspaper with tiny salary, but they wanted to get someone who would work for nothing. And the turning point was that she felt offended, like she's an unpaid slave. So she started thinking creatively about opportunities outside Canada, and she looked into volunteering opportunities, and she's gonna take the risk to do something worthwhile. And her immediate plans is she's going to Malawi next month to work on a literacy program, mainly with children, and she's going to try to report on the situation. And she might help with her search for, this might help her with her search for a job as a journalist. The last one, who is Lucas, his past experience, he spent a long time in getting a business degree and improving his English, but he didn't get a full-time job after university, only part-time contracts, and got very little unemployment benefit, like a small salary, until he gets a job. And the turning point is that the benefit stops after a year, and he thought about masters, but unemployment in postgraduates are doubled, unfortunately. So other option was going abroad, but half of Europe has the same problems. So he doesn't want to leave family because of the financial crisis. And his immediate plan is he's going to do a course in farming. And he's saying that his mom would be a little bit disappointed, and he wants to succeed so that he can pay back his parents for their support. So I hope you could get some of these notes, and you can write to me under the video if you know anyone who's suffering from the same problem, someone who did postgraduate studies but couldn't make it, someone who didn't get the right qualifications but couldn't make it, or the other way around. So let me know what you think. And then let's go to the next exercise in the coming page.